everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Sharon and this is a channel that is dedicated to all things related to narcissism. I make videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on all types of topics related to narcissism. So if you haven't already, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos. I would really appreciate it if you gave the video a thumbs up. It's a free way you can help me out. And definitely don't forget to leave a comment because I like to read what you have to say. Have you ever lost control over something in your life? Your diet, your finances, your temper, anything really? Well, imagine if you lost control of, say, your diet. So you've been stress eating, going out to eat too often, and your jeans are tight. What if you ignored that, bought another pair in a larger size, and told yourself that your original pair must have shrunk in the wash, and now jean manufacturers are messing with the sizing? You continue eating whatever you want and just keep buying bigger and bigger sizes. Imagine how quickly you can max out a credit card with out-of-control spending. You buy something here, you charge something there. Before you know it, you would be at your limit. In today's video, we're going to talk about control and narcissism. Because narcissism is largely about control, being out of control in their own lives, but being very deliberate to control everybody else. Narcissists are controlled completely by their personality disorder. They have no independent thought. Their minds are warped. Narcissists are miserable beings. However, they're extremely dangerous because they seek to destroy who they can't control. And they do it ruthlessly and with no remorse, no empathy, and no regrets. If you are in the line of fire for a narcissist, you will pay. They will obsess over their need to destroy you. So let's talk a little bit about a narcissist's agenda. Why do they need to control you and how do they do it? Narcissists need to control you because they are completely out of control. They don't have any ability to control their thoughts, their emotions, their moods, how they act. So they control other people to feel more in control of their own lives. It makes them feel powerful and superior to control us and to massively affect our thoughts, emotions, mood, and personality. They enjoy making us suffer. Hear me there. They enjoy making us suffer. Watching us change to please them. It makes them feel good. But it's never enough. Now, a narcissist will control us in several ways. The first thing they do, though, is they target codependents. It's difficult for me to fathom somebody who wasn't codependent being in a relationship with a narcissist because narcissists are so cruel and abusive. The thing about a codependent is that essentially a codependent doesn't have an idea of their own value. They're valueless in their own minds. So they will do anything to please the narcissist. Somebody who had an idea of their value, who knew who they were, had a strong grip of themselves, wouldn't put up with a narcissist for 1 second. So the first thing, yes, a narcissist will target a codependent because narcissists are predators. They seek out prey. They ruthlessly exploit. They treat us horrifically and then benefit from it. They gaslight and manipulate us to destabilize us. And when they don't get what they want, they react with anger and threats. Victims become afraid to upset the narcissist, afraid of their bad moods, afraid of a silent treatment, whatever it is that the narcissist does to them. So gradually, the victims, us, we change to accommodate and please the narcissist. And this happens so gradually that you don't even recognize it right away, especially being codependent. Narcissists will reinforce our shortcomings. They cause us to apologize for things that aren't our fault just to keep the peace. Our whole life becomes keeping the peace, keeping the narcissist as happy as possible, trying to avoid a narcissist's bad mood. A narcissist's behavior is so confusing when you don't know what's going on. I know many of you can relate to waking up one day and wondering to yourself, what happened to me? What happened to my life? Who am I? Joe and I have had so many discussions about that. When I first got involved with my ex, he was so complimentary, so kind. I really thought he was a teddy bear kind of guy. Over time, though, he began acting strange. It began with him randomly giving me silent treatments. So I can remember thinking, and this is so horrible for me now, I mean, we were newly married, and my ex would come home from work and just not talk to me and I could not fathom it. I couldn't understand it. And I thought to myself, though, I mean, this is what I'm really thinking. I guess I just need to accept that every month or two that my ex is just going to come home and kind of be a jerk. Like, I was lucky that most of the time he wasn't ignoring me. I would say, "What's wrong? Did you have a bad day at work? Are you okay? Just ignore me." No, he wouldn't say anything. And then, why are you acting like this? What happened? Are you mad at me? This is what would happen. I was absolutely so confused. So that's what I mean when I say a narcissist will target a codependent. I mean, look how I thought. Now, I'm going to tell you something else that happened when I was newly married. I had just had my daughter, so I had an infant with me. And my ex and I got into an argument. And I can't remember what it was. My guess, because this is typically what would happen, is my ex and I didn't get in a lot of fights. My ex would get mad at me when I discovered something he was lying to me about. That's when we would have an argument. So my ex has always been terrible with finances. He's always keeping secrets, financial secrets. I never know what debt he has, what he's doing. And every once in a while, I would find this out. Either he would confess it to me, or I would find it out, like get a credit card statement or something like that in the mail. So my guess is that that's what happened with this. So I had an infant daughter, and my ex told me, he grabbed his keys and he told me he was going to go and crash the car with himself in it. So he made a big show of it. Got his keys, told me goodbye, got in the car. I was beside myself. This is when I had no idea what narcissism was. I had no idea he was deliberately trying to scare me. I begged him not to leave. Like I said, I didn't know this was a manipulative tactic. My ex left for hours. I can remember pacing back and forth, holding my infant, absolutely terrified. I wanted to call the police. I was like, should I call the police? I can't call the police. What if I call the police and he doesn't hurt himself? Then he's going to be mad at me. My ex had taught me to fear him. So I was afraid. For hours, I'm pacing with my infant daughter. When I think of the cruelty, it makes me angry today. And this happened almost 20 years ago. I'm still angry about it today. I was so horrifically abused. I was thought so little of. It was okay for him to torture me like that. And I had been taught by that point never to upset him. I cannot upset him. My feelings don't matter. He wants to scare me. I have to just put up with it. At one point, my mother called and I told her what was happening. This is what my mother said to me. "Oh, don't worry about it. Do you want me to come over and sit with you? I'll sit with you until he comes home. You know what? Why don't you cook a nice meal so for when he gets home, he'll know how special he is, how loved he is." Truly, is it any wonder I ended up with a narcissist? Really? In a million years, I wouldn't tell my daughter that. If my daughter told me that was happening to her, I would tell her to call the police and I'd be on my way over there to get her the hell out of there. I was being tortured and abused, and my mother taught me to disrespect myself and cater to my abuser. When he came home hours later, he acted like nothing happened. I, meanwhile, was shaking and traumatized and learned an important lesson that day. The lesson was not, "Screw you, I'm out of here, we're getting divorced." It was, "Oh, I better not upset my ex. I better be nice to him. Even if he abuses me, even if he hurts my family financially, that's okay because he's the most important. I'm nothing." It was absolutely disgusting behavior. Nothing is ever a narcissist's fault, ever. A narcissist is completely ignorant of reality. They have no idea that they are extremely unlovable. They blame and destroy with no regard for the truth. For a narcissist, reality doesn't exist. Have you ever seen an insect caught in a spider's web? Once it's in the web, it's over. The insect will twist and pull, desperate to get away. Even if you try and save the insect in the web, which I have done before, you can't. The web will stay wrapped around the insect even if you free it. And it's so small you can't unwrap it without hurting the insect. And besides, usually the spider bites its victim immediately anyways. When an insect is caught in a spider web, it is a death sentence. When we're with a narcissist, we're caught in a web of sorts too. For us, thank God, it isn't certain death, but it does take effort to get out. It will likely take all that you have, but I am going to tell you, it is worth it. It is always worth it to escape. If you escape with the shirt on your back, and I know that sounds like so desperate, like does it really have to be that way? It might, and it's worth it. It is unacceptable. It will destroy your life to be with a narcissist. However long you've been with a narcissist, when you have the opportunity, get out. Being with a narcissist, it will destroy you. You will have no quality of life. It literally is a death sentence. But what if you do escape? What does that mean? What does it mean when a narcissist loses control? What's going to happen? That's a tough thing to judge because it really can range from deliciously sweet to get revenge on a narcissist to watch your back. Narcissist has a very difficult time accepting, acknowledging, or admitting that they've lost control. Remember, narcissists don't live in reality. They live inside their warped minds. That's why they want to control us in the first place. I'm going to tell you a little bit about how my ex and Joe's ex have acted since they've lost control. They don't know. Now, I know this sounds crazy. They don't know they've lost control. A narcissist can be ruthless. They see themselves as victims always, and they will act to defend themselves. So my kids and I had to take the drastic step of leaving the state to escape my ex because he stalked me, broke into my house, showed up at the house with a loaded gun, and more. So my kids and I can finally breathe now. It's kind of weird when I think about it. My kids and I have taken such a drastic step. We literally emptied the contents of the house, took off in the middle of the night to escape such an abusive person. He doesn't know. Now, he does know we left the state. He does know that we're not with him anymore. He does know that I'm getting divorced, but he still believes he's in control. It's crazy. It's the exact same with Joe's ex. She also lives in ignorance. So for me, I literally packed up my house and left. My ex believes he has control though, because once he realized that I left, he immediately went to his parents, and the three of them have been enjoying ganging up and trying to scare me. So my ex, he continues to abuse me. This is what they do. A narcissist, they want to hurt you. They plot and plan to destroy you. So my ex has been plotting and planning to hurt me and destroy me for years. He's still doing it. So for him, it doesn't matter whether I'm in New Hampshire or in another state. He is still plotting and abusing. So that's what he wants to do. He and his parents have been trying to get me arrested for months. Now, we've talked to this with my kids. I know I'm not going to be arrested now, but I didn't always know that. I was afraid that they were going to somehow manage to get me arrested for leaving with my kids or crossing a state line with my underage child. My lawyer's like, well, you're not breaking the law, but I was afraid. I didn't know. My ex's father is very powerful. So there was a time when I thought, oh my gosh, I might actually be arrested. And my own parents, remember my mother telling me to cater to my abusive husband. They gave the police my phone number. The whole thing was an absolute mess. But back to my ex, he's still controlling me because he thinks that he might get me arrested. And I had to talk to my kids about this. And my daughter said to me at one point, she's like, well, what's going to happen to my brother and I if you're arrested? They don't think ahead. That doesn't matter. The narcissist isn't thinking, well, what about my kids? It's, I must enact revenge. Somebody did something to me. I must enact revenge. Then my ex hired this top-notch lawyer. His lawyer is better than my lawyer. So he's thinking he's going to strong-arm me. He has no idea that my kids and I live with my boyfriend. He has lost massively, but he believes he's in control. Even now, every once in a while, he'll send me this arrogant email. He lost his wife. His kids told him to never contact them again, but he believes he's in control because he's trying to hurt me, and he believes it's working. That's arrogance. That's what it looks like. Absolute delusion. I could hear a couple of weeks ago, I was on a three-way call. My ex, I didn't speak with him. We were talking to somebody, somebody from the court was talking to both of us, so I could hear him talking. His voice was dripping with arrogance. Even then, he believes he's in control. And that's what it takes with a narcissist. Their minds are so warped that if they believe it's true, it's true. I mean, have you ever heard somebody say, if you believe, if you're talking about a lie, right? If you believe it's the truth, it's not a lie. That's kind of how the narcissist is. If they believe they're in control, that's all they need. The reality doesn't matter. I'm living with my boyfriend, with my kids. My ex has no idea. He has no idea the reality. I'm not hiding anything from him either. He just looks to see what he sees. He sees, oh, I'm going to enact revenge. I'm going to get her arrested. I'm going to take the kids from her. I'm going to do this. That's his plan. So he doesn't live like he lost because he's still plotting against me. Similarly with Joe. Joe's ex was kicked out of the house. She's forced out of the house. She has a restraining order on her to stay away from the house. She doesn't see her kids. I've told Joe so many times, in his situation, he's a single dad. For me to be a single mother, that's normal, right? I mean, it's not unusual when there's a divorce or a separation for the woman to raise the kids. And I'm not trying to be like a sexist or anything here. My whole point in saying this, when you hear about a woman who has nothing to do with her kids, so that she's alive, but she doesn't see her kids, has nothing to do with them, and the husband has the kids 100% of the time, it's weird. It's unusual. That says something. It's for me to tell you that I'm a single mother, that's kind of typical. When a man says that, it stands out because it's unusual. So here's this woman she doesn't have her kids. She's lost her kids. She's lost her home. She's lost her husband. She's lost everything. She doesn't know. She still regularly will text Joe, threatening him, trying to make him feel bad. Joe never responds. He hasn't responded to a text of hers for over a year, and she still texts him. I've said to Joe so many times, I can't imagine if I was texting someone, say, a couple times, they never responded. They completely ignored me. I cannot imagine demeaning myself by continuing to text them for over a year. That's what she does. This is what I'm talking about when I say they are completely delusional. They don't get it. A lot of times, a narcissist doesn't recognize defeat. So Joe and I have both made the decision to take back our lives, and the way that we're doing it is we're going no contact with our narcissistic exes. Our exes don't recognize this. It's the same with my ex. It just hasn't been for over a year. I have not had any communication with my ex since December. He still will randomly text me. He doesn't understand that we're not in communication. They don't see reality. A narcissist will only see what they want to see. Our exes, that's how they are. They don't believe that they've lost control, so they don't act like they have. The thing that Joe and I have both learned, and I think this is just important for everybody, it's a long road to defeating a narcissist, but what you learn at the end is you can't control how somebody else will act, but you can control your reaction to it. You need to be careful when you leave a narcissist because you don't know how they're going to react. The reality, though, is that very often they won't accept that they've lost. They don't acknowledge it. Remember, we're talking about somebody that doesn't acknowledge reality, somebody who is very disturbed. So all that we can do is live our lives. It doesn't matter what the narcissist says. Once you're free, let them live their life. Let them think that they're in control, whatever. Just get out. Control yourself. Work on yourself and your life. It's almost like muscle memory. The way that I was when I was in my entanglement, the marriage to the ex, I was a different person. Once I was free, I changed. I snapped back. It's almost like you have a baby, right? You have a baby, you gain all this weight, but you eventually get back to your old size. You're in your old jeans and it feels so good. That's how it is after you leave a narcissist. you get back to your old self. Life can be good again. When you're in the entanglement, when you're thinking about leaving or you're trying to leave, you feel like it's never going to happen. You're so afraid. You're living in terror. But that's because you still have the narcissist with you. Once you're free, the night and day difference is incredible. I want everybody to experience that freedom. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm very grateful and I really appreciate it. I will see you all in Friday's video and hope everything's a little bit better with Joe, by the way. I mentioned on Monday he was having an issue with his sons. Everything is a little bit better there. So thank you for everybody who prayed. Joe will be back with me on Monday and I will see you on Friday. So have a wonderful day, everybody. God bless.